Hello, I welcome you to today's lesson. My name is Paul William Sofori, Senior. Today we have Science for Basic 6. Science for Basic 6. Now, before we start, I have mentioned my name. I want to know your name. So write your name at the comment section, the name of your school, and where you are watching me from. Okay, so what's the topic for today? Let's look at it. This is the topic for today. Relationship between energy and force. Relationship between energy and force. So today's lesson is about energy and force. Yes, class 4, class 5, we learned about energy, we learned about force. So what is energy at all? When you talk of energy, what comes into your mind? Yes, energy is the ability to do work. Very good. What about force? Force, it is a pull or push on an object. It is a pull or push on an object. So you see, force is one thing, energy too is another thing. But my question is, what kind of relationship exists between force and energy? That is what we are going to look at. Are they the same? Is force the same as energy? Or they are different? If they are different, what makes them different? If they are the same, what makes them the same? That is what today's lesson is all about. The relationship between force and energy. That is what we are looking at today. So pay attention. I believe you enjoyed today's lesson. So pay attention. Now let's look at the keywords. The first word is increase. Increase. The next one is decrease. Decrease. Then what we have here is energy. This is force. The last word is direction. Now let's look at the meaning. To increase something means to add more. To add more. The next word is decrease. Decrease means to reduce, to lower something, to reduce something. Now we have energy. I have explained energy. You know it. Energy is the ability to do work. The next one is force. Force too is a pull or push on an object. And now we have here direction. Direction, that is a path of something. And so if something is moving to this direction, it means it is heading towards this side. A path that something moves. Okay, so this is direction for you. Now we have seen the keywords: increase, decrease, energy, force, and then we have direction. Now let's continue. In basic 5 we learned about energy and forces. What is energy? Do you remember force? What is force? Is energy the same as force? Describe the pictures. So these are the pictures that we have. If you look at this girl, what do you see? I can see a girl, I can see a desk. What is the girl doing to the desk? The girl is pushing the desk. The girl is pushing the desk. Now let's look at the next one. Okay, now tell me what you see here. Tell me what you see here. I can see a chair. I can see a girl. What is the girl doing to the chair? The girl is pulling the chair. So here, the first picture, the girl is pushing. The second one too, the girl is what? Pulling. So here, what is taking place is force. Force, it is a pull or a push. So this is a pull, this is a push. So a pull or a push on an object, that is force. Okay, let's continue. You understand it well. Now, from the pictures, from the above pictures, we can see a girl pushing a desk in picture B. Sorry, in picture A. In picture B, the girl is pulling a chair. The objects we see are a table and a chair. A force is a push or pull on an object. When a force is applied to an object, some of the effects are that the object can move. So anytime you apply force to an object, we are looking at the effects. You know it, yes. But let's go over. 1, the object can move. 2, the object can stop moving. 3, the object can change its shape or size. 4, the object can change direction. 5, the object can decrease or increase speed. So anytime you apply force to an object, there are some effects that the force have on the object. And the effects, some of them are, the force can move an object. An object that is moving, the force can cause it to increase the speed. A moving object too, you can apply force to it, and then the force will reduce the speed, or it will decrease the speed. Force can change the shape or the size of an object. You should know that the direction of an object can also be changed by force. So these are some of the effects of force on an object. A force is all about pushing or pulling. Yes. Okay. Now let's continue. Moving a car and moving a chair requires force, but one needs to apply more force to move a car than a chair. Can you move a car if you are hungry? The answer is no, because moving a car requires energy. Energy is the ability to do work. Without energy, force cannot be applied and work cannot be done. This means that force and energy are related. If you have more energy, you can apply more force to do greater work. If you have little energy, you can apply only a small force and do little work. So we are looking at the relationship that exists between force and energy. Now, before you can work, you need energy. Where do you get energy? From food. So if you eat and you have more energy, then you can work. We work by applying force. We can move tables, we can move chairs, we can pull tables, we can pull chairs, we can sweep, we can jump, we can do a whole lot of things. If we have energy, then we apply force because of the energy that we have. So the more energy that you have, the more force you can apply. Do you understand it? So if you don't have energy, you cannot apply force. If you are hungry, can you move a car? No, because you don't have the ability to do that. You can't apply force because you don't have energy. But if you eat and you have more energy, you can apply more force. And we apply force to do work for us. Let's continue. Now look at the pictures. Let me enlighten them. So this is one picture. What do you see? A boy running. If you are hungry, if you have not eaten for one whole week, can you run like this? You can't run. You can't do this work. Look at the girl. She's walking. Very good. So sometimes if you are hungry, the way you walk. So she has energy. That's why she's walking like that. Yes, look at this picture. The boy is carrying a bucket. So if you have energy, you can carry this bucket. But if you don't have energy, can you carry it? You can't carry. The same thing is here. You see the boy carrying books. Yes. Let's look at the next one. This girl is sweeping. This girl is sweeping. Have you seen it? Okay. What do you see here? Beautiful girl reading. She's reading. Okay. Now, this handsome boy is pushing the box. Okay. And then another handsome boy here is also pushing a truck. Okay. Now, these are activities that we do. We do these activities almost every day. And before we can sweep, before we can read, before we can push objects, we have to get energy. We need energy to do this thing. So the force that we apply depends on the energy that we have. If you have more energy, you can apply more force. If you don't have energy, you can't apply more force. It is not possible. Let's continue. When force is applied to a body and it cannot overcome the weight of the body cannot move, or the force will have no effect on the body. So before the force will have effect on the body, the force will overcome the weight of the objects. So I have this. If I want this thing to move, I need to apply force to it. The force that I will apply should be greater, or it should be able to overcome the weight of this. So if the force that I will apply is greater or overcomes the weight of this, then I can use the force to move this, to stop this from moving, to change the shape, the direction. I can use the force to do so many things to this, because the force has what it takes to overcome the weight of this thing. So you should understand that anytime we apply force to something, the force should overcome the weight of that thing. If it is not able to overcome the weight of it, then no effect will take place. That object cannot move. That object cannot, the shape cannot be changed. It cannot be stopped. So if you want to apply force and see effects, the effect will only happen when the force applied has overcome the weight of that thing. Okay, let's continue. An object or a body moves when the applied force has overcome the weight of the object. So any object that will be moved because of force that has been applied, it means the force applied was able to overcome the weight of the objects. Okay. So if you have rock and you apply force to it and it doesn't move, it means the force that you are applying is not enough to overcome the weight of the rock. So if the force is able or overcomes the weight of the rock will move. It will move. So that is one thing that you should know. Remember that applying more force alone does not always mean more work, unless there is movement. Listen, let me read it again. Remember that applying more force alone does not always mean more work, unless there is movement. So if you have rock and you apply more force to the rock, it doesn't mean you have worked. If you apply more force and the force is not able to overcome the weight of the rock, it means no work has been done. So anytime you apply force, the force should overcome the weight of that thing. And and there should be a movement, in that case you say yes, work has been done. So you can apply more force to something, but because the force that you have applied, though to you have applied all the force that you have, but the thing is not moving, that means that the force that you have applied is not enough to overcome the weight of the object. That is why it is easy to push an empty box, but it is not easy to push a rock. See the weight of a rock, the weight of an empty box. So if you apply your force, the force that you have, if you apply it to an empty box, it will move quickly. But rock, it will not move like that, unless the force that you have applied overcome the weight of the entire rock. That is when the rock will move. Okay, so let's continue. For example, if you push a wall with a great force but does not move, no work is done, even though energy is used. So we use energy to apply force. Now you have applied force, you have pushed wall with all the energy that you have, with all the force that you can apply, you have applied, but the wall is not moving. It means no work has been done. So you should understand it. Work is only done when the force that you have applied has moved the object, has had what effect on the object. So if the force has not made any changes, has not had any effect on the object, then it means no work has been done. Okay, let's continue. So note that the greater the force exerted on a body or machine, the greater the work done. So if you apply more work or more force, if you apply more force to an object, more work will be done. But listen, this happens if the force exerted overcomes the weight of the body or causes the body to move. So if you apply force and the force overcomes the weight of the object will move. And that means work has been done. But listen, sometimes you apply all the force that you have, but the object will not move. In that case, though you have applied force, but no movement was seen, so no work was done. That is what you should know. You should also understand that if you have energy, you can apply force. If you have more energy, you can apply more force. But the fact that you have applied more force doesn't mean work should be done. The force that you have applied on the thing, it should be able to overcome the weight of that thing. If it overcomes the weight of that thing, that is where you see movement. That thing will move. And that is when we say work has been done. So energy is the ability to do work. Yes, you have the ability, you apply it, you apply the force, but if the force is not able to overcome the weight of that object, then no work has been done. Okay, so you should also understand that force is measured in Newton, but energy is measured in joules. Now in summary, a force is a push or pull on an object. Energy is the ability to do work. Force and energy are related. Without energy, force cannot be applied to do work. So before you apply force, you need energy. So energy will help you apply force, and the force will cause what? Movement. Applying force will cause movement in the object, and that is where we say work has been done. So this is what you should understand. Force, energy. You need energy. If you want to apply force, you need energy. The more energy that you have, the more force you can apply. And work is only done when the applied force is able to overcome the weight of the object that force has been applied to. So this is what you have learned today. I believe you understand it and you are okay with it. If you have questions, feel free and ask. Go to the comment section and ask. But let's look at the exercises. So we have exercise 1 here. Exercise 2 is here. Exercise 3 is here. Exercise 4 is here. Home assignment 1, home assignment 2. So this is what I expect you to do for me. Take your time, do the work. You can watch the video again. If you're not okay with the explanation and understanding, you can watch the video again. Your teachers, your parents, they are there. Go to them and ask them questions. You should also understand that what your teachers are teaching you in the classroom is the same thing that we are doing here. So feel free, go to your teachers, discuss the things that you are learning from here with your teachers, and they will help you. They will help you. I know your teachers. Ghanaian teachers are very good. They will help you. So go to them if you have questions. Your parents are also good. You don't ask them questions. Ask your parents questions. They have learned all these things. They are very good. Try them, you see. They will educate you. They will give you more details. So go to your parents too. You can call this number or WhatsApp this number. I prefer you WhatsApp so that we can all help ourselves. So WhatsApp this number if you have questions. Apart from science, we have Ghanaian language textbook. We have Asantechi, Ekuapimchi. The books are very good. Get copies for yourself to help you. And the science too, we have textbook, Kokromoti series. Kokromoti series, science. We have Kokromoti series, Asantechi, Kokromoti series, Ekuapimchi. So these are the 3 books that we have. The science comes with video lesson. So you don't just buy the textbook, but you also have access to watch the lesson. You watch the lesson. For each indicator, we have lessons, video lessons for it. So get copies and then enjoy yourself, educate yourself, learn. Okay, we are bringing the lesson to a close. Remember to go to YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Our videos are there. Go and watch them, share, and then tell people about it. Thanks for your time. My name is Williams. Bye-bye.